Well, nothing tells you more about how completely upside down the world is than the fact that Mumbai and Chennai are playing a wooden spoon Classico. Halfway down this tournament, they are number 9 and 10. Who would have thunk it? Hashtag, who would have thunk it? Nobody. But I tell you what, you may think that it's a little duller than previous years, but it never will be here on Cricbuzz Live because we are just here to have the fun. Yes, okay? I'm Gaurav Kapur. Joining me all the way from the UK is Michael Vaughan. We have your Prime Minister here with us, Michael. So just be nice to us, yeah?
Yeah, you can keep him if you want.
No, you can say whatever you want because we're sending him back. Feel free. But Joy, does anything tell us more about how upside down the world is at this moment than Mumbai and Chennai playing a 9 and 10 clash?
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking that it's a perfect thing. Mumbai and Chennai playing number 10 and the British Prime Minister sitting in Sabarmati Ashram trying to spin a charkha. I mean, that the world is totally upside down at this point in time. So, 9 and 10 Chennai is the funniest feeling in the world. I mean, I have not seen it in 14 years. None of us have seen it in 14 years of IPL.
Yeah, we'll look at the points table and it'll tell you that they are both playing their 7th game today. It's 10 teams, but they play 14 games. And so that's why this is the halfway mark for these two teams as well. And Chennai's just got the 1 win and Mumbai hasn't even got the 1 win. And, you're looking at 9 trophies amongst, in 14 years, Michael. And I think this is just underlines the fact that nothing is constant, right? What goes up must come down and what's down must go up.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, 2 incredible franchises over the years that I just think they've taken their eye off the ball of late, particularly in the auction. They allowed 1 or 2 of their better players to go. I don't think they were quite smart enough in the auction. I probably felt that, you've got the same kind of managements in both camps who probably have got so much confidence in the way that they operate that they've allowed too many good players to go to other franchises. I look at both now that they've got to learn from the next few games to try and grab something from this year's IPL. I don't see them qualified. I think that's pretty much near on impossible. But particularly with Mumbai, with Delwell Brevis, there's 1 or 2 younger players that they have to try and find and give more experience to hopefully give them a bit more of that something going into next year's IPL. But it's one of those seasons. I think someone said on social media, it's like Manchester United playing Liverpool. Well, I just think that's so unfair on Liverpool because they're right. Well, because Liverpool are right at the top. They're the best.
No, I'm saying exactly. I'm saying how are they comparing this? How can Liverpool be compared to?
Yeah, I get Manchester United. So let's say Mumbai, Manchester United, Chennai. I don't quite see which team they are at the minute. Maybe, I don't know. Tottenham, I don't know. I'm trying to work out which team they are, but Mumbai are definitely Man United, the biggest franchise, but unfortunately they've just taken their eye off the ball. Very similar to Man United.
Whoever has said this on social media obviously has not watched the match from 2 nights ago. And not watched Liverpool play those 2 nights. Michael, before we go, I want to get your reaction on this because I couldn't get the reaction out of Pommy last night because he was still crying. So I think through those tears, he couldn't hear my question. But just that ball from Mane and that touch from Salah for that second goal.
Yeah, it was men against boys. It was, Liverpool are a train. They're so good. They're so strong. Ralph Rangnick came out with the best. I think he said after the game that Liverpool have got 25 Formula One cars. He actually didn't get asked the question, how many Formula One cars have Manchester United got? But I'm pretty sure I knew the answer. He may have one. He may have one. And that's the guy that stands in net for them. The rest of them, what's below Formula One and then below that, I'm not too sure. But they certainly don't seem to have too many Formula One cars at the minute.
Yeah, well, just in case you all are thinking we're struggling to give a 30-minute show about Mumbai and Chennai and started talking about football, you're absolutely right. Nah, I'm just kidding. We talk about the teams now because, the team that has won the toss for the 33rd time, Joy, has decided to...
Surprise, field. I'm so amazed.
What do you know?
33 times out of 33.
Bring out the best in each other. For 2 teams where their campaign hasn't really kick-started, this really could be the tonic for both teams today.
Yeah, and my point is that when you reach this stage, and I've been in this situation before with the team, you would then look at one game at a time, and you're talking about pride. These are intensely proud people. 9 championships between them. These are guys who've dominated T20 cricket for a very long time. So what they'll want to do is play match by match, play for pride, and say, what can we set right? If we have 10 problems in our team, or there are 5 problems in our team, what are the problems we can solve one by one? All 5 are not going to be solved in one day, but let's see how we can start building together again and start building towards making a winning franchise again. And look, I still feel that there's so many things Chennai got right. I think Chennai just got 2 or 3 things wrong. I think Mumbai has at this point in time more work to do than Chennai, at least for this season. But I feel Mumbai's long-term outlook is possibly more exciting with players like Brevis. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting.
And players like Archer, who probably will join them next season. Fingers crossed. I mean, suddenly it ends up looking a lot different. Let's have a look at the changes they made. We had predicted that there'd be a few changes with Mumbai. We couldn't predict what the changes will be because you never know. But these are the ones they've made. They've got Daniel Sams back in. Riley Meredith comes in, and Ritik Shokeen, the Indian spinner, he's in. So Murugan Ashwin is out. Tymel Mills is out. And Fabian Allen is out. Still no Tim David. Let's just talk first to Michael about the player who's not there. They really went after him. I think they paid 8.25 crores, if I remember correct, Joy. They paid that much money for him. They've played him 2 games and they've sat him out. I don't get it. I really don't understand.
No, that doesn't make too much sense. And Daniel Sams, he's had a quite a poor start for the Mumbai Indians. He's been hit all over the place. I understand Tamal Mills missing out. He had a real poor game in the last outing. But yeah, when you've paid that amount of money for someone, he's only played 2 games. It does take a bit of a time to get used to your franchise, used to conditions. He wouldn't have played too much cricket in India. So I am surprised by that. I mean, it's amazing that, the one player that we're really excited about when we are watching the Mumbai Indians is the kid. Usually it was Surya Kumar, it was Ishan, it was Rohit, Kiran, Pollard, Bumrah. But, I sit here now and at the minute, the only excitable player that I'm really looking forward to today is Daryl Brevis, the young player from South Africa, because he's just lit up the IPL. He's at a franchise that's been struggling. I guess that's why he's been given the games, because they were struggling, they threw him in. And he's been a revelation, and looking forward to see how he goes against the Yellows today. He's some player.
Yeah, he really is. He's been given an opportunity at number 3. And in a way, Joy, just to be fair to Mumbai about this whole, because there's a lot of talk about, Tim David and them paying so much money and only playing 2 games. The fact is, they actually can't play him because their bowling is lacking, which is why they keep needing to rejig their bowling, which they've done today. They've rebooted. They've got 3 changes in their bowling, just in their bowling, which means they've rebooted their bowling completely. So they can't make space there for Tim David. You can't drop Pollard. And the way Brevis has played, he's kind of taken that spot. So it's not as much as they don't want to play him. It's like they can't, because Brevis has just taken that opportunity, grabbed it with both hands and both legs.
Absolutely. I think Brevis has taken that space that Tim David, they were so supposed to give to Tim David, and they have to play Sams because, see, for whatever else they're doing, if their batting is 10% off, their bowling is 45-50% off. Just teams now have the opportunity of saying, I'll play out 4 overs of Bumrah and I'm just going to smash everyone else. So they had to bring back that 5th specialist bowler. And they're now telling their batsmen, see, a lot of teams are now doing this. If you see, even Rajasthan is doing this, and they're turning around, they're telling them, the Sunrisers have always been doing this, saying, you're 6 guys, you should be able to bat through 20 overs. If you have to whack a few in the 18th, 19th over, we'll come in and do it. But that's it. You 6 guys do it. You need 5 genuine bowlers, and then maybe have a change bowler or 2. Pollard can bowl a couple of overs, but you need 5 bowlers, because every time they've gone in with that 4 bowlers and get the 5th bowler out, I mean, when your 2nd bowler and your 3rd bowler are getting smashed for 40 and 45 runs, where are you going to accommodate a 5th bowler? And that's exactly what's happening to Mumbai.
Joy, I would go the other way. I'd play David for Sams, and I would. The reason being, I don't see Daniel Sams winning the game with the ball or the bat, but I see Tim David.
That's a different matter. That's absolutely fine. Yeah,
winning them a game with the bat and also offering a couple of overs with the off spin. I just think in a T20 11. When you're struggling, you identify players who you believe can win a game on their own. I think Tim David is the kind of player that can win a game on his own. So you have to get him in. He's that good a player and he's that good a striker of a ball, and he offers you a bit of off spin. I'm not being disrespectful to Daniel Sands because he's excellent in Australia, but I don't see him having that impact. I don't see him having an impact in Indian conditions. And I would have gone a bowler light and, trying to find a few Surya Kumar, Tim David, Kiran, try and get, 8
Brevis.
overs. Yeah, Brevis, just try and get 8 overs between those 3 and then you find 12 from the rest. I just like to see players in T20 teams that I believe can win the game on their own. And I think Tim David is in that bracket.
And come on, Brevis has a wicket of Virat Kohli. Hey, listen, I mean, he may not be in the form of his life, but he's still Virat Kohli. Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. Let's have a look at the Chennai team. See if they've made any changes. They made 2 changes, actually. And the one that Michael and I just do not agree with, unless there's an injury, no brother Mo. Where's Moeen Ali gone?
Well, he's not had a great time of it. They've given him that key spot at number 3, and he's not grabbed it. He's an all-round player, but I'm surprised they haven't just manoeuvred him down the order and used, obviously, his off-spin a little bit more so. But a real class player, Moeen Ali. And he's been given that chance. I do think 2 and 3 are the best 2 positions in T20 cricket. He's been given that number 3 spot, and he hasn't used it. He hasn't used it well enough. And it's the IPL. If you have 2 or 3 bad games or games that you're not at the level that these franchise owners and captains and coaches expect, you pretty much know as an overseas player where you're going to end up. You're going to end up mixing drinks. And that's exactly what's happened with Moeen Ali.
Yeah. Let's look at the team again, Joy. It's so different because in Mumbai, you're saying, all right, they may be struggling for the 20 overs and is their batting going down, below 7. That's never a problem with Chennai because they've got its options galore, top to bottom.
Yeah, six genuine bowlers. Okay, you take one Bravo, Pretorius, Mukesh Chaudhary, Thikshana, Santner, Jadeja. Shivam Dubey can give you a couple of overs. Hasn't been really successful, but he gives you 7. But all those all-rounders, I mean, Pretorius is decent with the bat, and Pretorius is at 9. Bravo at 8 means it's a deep, deep side. Look, I still feel Chennai has enough. I mean, they haven't got across the line. But I think Chennai is less far away than Mumbai is. I think they're losing matches by closer margins. I think Mumbai looks really out of it because, I mean, their top order is not clicking. And see, every year Mumbai has a spark. Is it Ishan Kishan? Is it Surya Yadav? Somebody gives them a spark. Is it Hardik Pandya? Is it, nobody is giving them that spark. Even when they're getting good performances, they're not match-winning performances. So Surya Yadav is giving you something, but he's not converting. Ishan is giving you something, he's not converted. And that's the problem. You're not finishing matches. You're getting there, you're giving a good performance. But what Mumbai used to do is when those guys caught the match, they'd catch it by the scruff of its neck. It's rare to see a Mumbai letting go of that scruff of the neck. And that's what I find interesting about this Mumbai side.
Yeah. When you compare the 2 11s, Michael, I think that comes, you're looking at this Chennai team and you're saying, they've got the options. Yes, they're missing a Deepak Chahar. Yes, they're not getting those overs in, they're not getting those wickets in the power play. Yes. But their boxes seem ticked a lot more than Mumbai's. So that's what makes them winning just 1 out of 6 just more inexplicable for me.
Yeah, I mean, they should have won the last game easily. Chris Jordan got hit in that 18th over by Rashid Khan. It was poor bowling. He just landed it in the slot. So that's a game they should have won. So they should be 2 out of 6. Obviously they're not, but I look at that 11. It's certainly got it in them to win 3 or 4 on the trot because of that experience. I think they're quite well balanced. It's not easy for Ravindra Jadeja to be the captain after the legendary MS Dhoni deciding to step down. That can't be an easy scenario. I don't think that I'll keep saying it. I just think both these franchises just took their eye off the ball at the auction. I just don't think they were into that auction as aggressively as some of the other teams. Obviously the new franchises had to get the best players. Some of the other teams, Punjab, I know they had a poor result yesterday. Delhi just had some good transfers, some good manoeuvres, whereas both these franchises almost just sat back and went, we're okay, we're Mumbai, we're Chennai. We know how to win this thing. We don't need too many changes. We've got great backroom. We've got a lot of experience. And I always look at sport that you always have to be ahead. You always have to be looking ahead. And as soon as you just rest or sit back and think that you're doing everything perfectly, sport has a very cruel knack of catching you up and giving you a little bit of a leveler. But Chennai, I'm with Joy. Chennai aren't that far away. Mumbai, they so far have looked a long way off for anywhere near potential.
But great point that Joy makes, that it's the spark that they used to get from one player in the top order. And it's just so easy to turn it around for them because there's the potential, there's the pedigree when you're talking about players like Rohit and Surya and the recently retired Pollard. 20 hours recently retired Pollard. So I was just the post from Sachin Tendulkar came very quickly, which means that this was not one of those impulsive decisions, I guess. I mean, when you've got a master like that, Michael, who's with you in that bio bubble, I'm pretty sure that KP would have kind of walked to the master and had a bit of a chat, right, about the game, about retiring, when to leave, etc. I mean, when you have that kind of brain to tap that experience, you probably tap it, right?
Well, you know what? If Sachin was in my team, I'd be tapping on his door every night, pestering him, just talking. Whether I'm retiring or not, I'd just be pestering him, just having conversations. But yeah, you'd think so. Surprised by it? Would you think the T20 World Cup's not that far away? It's only a few months down the line in Australia. He'll have his reasons. And sometimes you wake up and it's just simple as that. You wake up in the morning and go, I just can't be bothered anymore. I've just completely spent every ounce of energy playing international cricket. I see Kieran, I mean, he's been good for the West Indies, but I do see him more of a Mumbai Indians kind of expert, a Mumbai Indian player rather than a West Indian player. That his numbers, you look at his T20 record is exceptional. ODI cricket, pretty good, but I think he'll look at his T20 form, both for the West Indies and the franchise teams, and that's really, I think, where we're going to remember Kieran Pollard as being a T20 expert.
Do you remember when that kind of moment struck you when you decided to retire?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it was the captaincy. I just beginning of the summer, I think it was 2008. I came back from a trip to New Zealand with just one, and I'd had enough. I should have gone then, but I was persuaded to carry on for the summer. And I remember telling my wife and family, look, this is going to be my last summer as captain, whatever happens. And when that series against South Africa's over, whether we've won or lost, or it goes right down to the wire, I will be announcing my retirement as captain. And I knew then, really, with the way that my body was and my knee in particular, as soon as I resigned the captaincy, I was never going to really have enough time at the age I was, and also my body wasn't going to allow me to put that extra bit on the training field to force my way back into the side. So I just knew, and I wasn't, I was sad because it's given up something that's, in my opinion, the best job in world cricket is captaining your country. So I was giving that up, and ultimately I knew that I was not really going to play again. But I was ready. I was ready. Yes, you have a few days where you're a bit upset and a bit sad that you're not going to play for your country again, but I was quite happy to manoeuvre on and get on with my next life, which I'm quite happy with as well.
Excellent. We have a Cricbuzz live question that all you viewers send in, and we're happy to take them and get everybody to weigh in on that. Here's what has come in today. Let's have a look on the screen. Bring it. Henil is saying, can a break be the solution for Virat and Rohit? Both look drained and are struggling. It's an important year, and we need our stars in form at the World Cup. I think, Joy, before we get your answer on that, I want to bring the Ravi Shastri quote on this quite immediately. And to Michael's point as well, sometimes your mind just has had enough, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what your body's saying, your mind has just had enough. And Joy, I'm sure you've interacted with a lot of players who've probably said that at some point in time. But let's have a look at what Ravi Shastri said. Ravi said this about Virat, where he's saying, I think Virat is overcooked. And I love that term because it's like a pressure cooker, right? Virat's a constant pressure cooker. It doesn't matter if it's a dead rubber or a game that's against an opposition that is perhaps a little lesser than you. He's giving 200% and he's burning bright with that intensity. Ravi thinks he's got 6-7 years of cricket left in him. I definitely think he's got 6-7 years of Test cricket left in him, and you don't want to lose that with a fried brain. Joy, your thoughts on this?
First and foremost, I genuinely feel I was thinking back to exactly 15 years back, 2007. We've had a really bad World Cup. If you remember the World Cup India had
Caribbean.
in the Caribbean. And then what happened? 3 senior guys decided not to go. If you remember, Saurav Ganguly, Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid didn't take that plane to South Africa. Dhoni was there. There was a new captain. I really feel in the format that there is, I think we've got the talent ready for a change of the guard. I mean, this current dispensation, this current, Rohit, Virat, they've taken us to many, many places. They've won lots of stuff for us. And yes, ICC tournaments are about winning one match. They've consistently reached semifinals. They've consistently done well, except for the last one. And I think perhaps it may be just say, okay, we'll pick these guys, but we'll pick them on form. We are not going to pick them because in the past they were just automatic picks. We'll say, okay, does Virat at this point walk into the first 6 Indian batsmen? If he does, we'll take him there. But if he doesn't, let's move on. Let's get that. And we have talent. There's enough talent out there. There are enough new people. It's 15 years. Is it time for a reboot? That's a question we should all ask ourselves. I mean, this great team has done a lot of stuff for us. But is it time to give somebody new the captaincy and, like Dhoni, start a new, fresh T20? I still think Test cricket has, Rohit in T20, in one-day cricket, Virat in Test cricket have a lot of time left in them. I'm not sure whether they want to or their heart is in this T20 game right now.
But Joy, I look at kind of world cricket as a whole, and these players that play all the formats, the great players of all the different teams. I don't think the actual management of the international teams mixed in with the franchise teams communicate well enough and understand that players just need a breather. And a 10-day. So in particular, the IPLs, it's intense, it's hot. Why not have a 10-day break? Why not go on holiday for a week? Take your kids away and just have some fun for a week and then come back. These tournaments are long. The IPL is near on 8 weeks long, and you're on it every day for 8 weeks. It's going to fry you out. So why not have
a bubble on top of that?
Yeah. Why not have different kind of players just resting at different times, and backroom team and the coaching team? They just do too much. These people, they're only human beings. And I look at it from the Indian side, Australian side, England side, the 3 teams that play pretty much 12 months of the year. I just don't think the management of these players is now good enough in terms of looking after the people. Why can't you just bring out a player from a test series to send them on holiday? In the UK, our players could go anywhere in Europe and have a week away with the family. Go and relax for a week, then come back. We'll give you 5 days to prepare for your next game. But, go and get away from cricket. Don't think about cricket. We don't want you to even communicate with us for a week. Go and spend some time with your kids and your family. And if you did that 3 or 4 times a year, every 2 or 3 months, you get a week off and a real breather to go and spend time with your family. Because most times these players are seeing their kids and their families actually when they're in tournament time. So you see in the IPL, they've all got the families there, the kids there, great, but you're not really switched off. You're still on your cricket and you're still training. You're seeing them kind of every day for a few hours. But, I'd actually, because of the way cricket is now, which is so intense, it's shows like this. We're all commenting every day of the year on the same players. They might be playing for different teams, but we're commenting on these players pretty much day in, day out. I just think they need a breather. And it's not just Virat, it's not just Rohit. I look at many of the top players across the 3 formats. I think they need to take little bits of time out away from cricket to go on. I call it the egg timer. That egg timer that you turn over. Yeah. Once the sand goes to the bottom, your egg's gone. It's knackered. You've got to keep turning it over. And that's what I believe needs to happen with people. You have to keep turning the egg timer, which means go on holiday. Go and spend some time with your kids and your family.
I love that suggestion. And the thing is, there are enough windows to do that. India's playing 5 T20s with South Africa. That pretty much takes, 3 weeks after the IPL. Then they're going to play 2 matches in Ireland. Some of the senior players can definitely sit that one out. Then there's the test match. Then they go to England. Then they go to West Indies straight from there. It's very hectic. They really need some time off to decompress.
But you've just mentioned 3 places: Ireland, England, South Africa, the West Indies. There's so many opportunities when you're going over there to play cricket, but you can go to a different island on holiday, or if you're in the UK, you can fly anywhere in Europe on holiday.
Correct.
Ireland, you're in South Africa, you can go and do a safari for a week with your family.
Yeah.
No, so it just needs a little bit of looking after people better. And as I said, it's not just the players; it's the management teams and all these coaches that they don't have the wealth. A lot of the coaches that a lot of the players have, who can just at the flick of a switch just send themselves on a holiday wherever they want to go. I think it's down to the franchise owners and the boards around the world to really look after the people that are operating this ship, which is just one ship that just goes. It never stops.
Yes, just keeps going.
We have to understand that these people need to get off the ship every now and again.
In a little lifeboat and push them out to an island somewhere, right?
Just
put them in a little lifeboat and go and then come back. Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that's a great point. I hope they do that because, hey, listen, people like Rohit, people like Virat, they're national treasures. I mean, I'm not, blowing sunshine when I say that they are national treasures. They have the weight of expectation of 1.5 billion people. They're also, whether they're captain or not, they have senior roles, their leadership roles. Youngsters look up to them. They have sponsor commitments. They have all the formats to play. And then they have this game to improve with an aging body, right? We don't even know what and then they have families, right? And young children. It's just a lot. I mean, I know lesser people who wouldn't be able to handle 2 of those 5 things. So really, let's just treat them a little human. We went into a very empathetic HR conversation on that question. So, Henel, you kind of popped open a can of worms here, man. But we're just going to come back to this game real quick, have a look at the team 11s because there's opportunities for youngsters on both sides here because it always has been. This is the game that brings out the best. I'll tell you something. This is the most looked forward to clash even for these teams, right? For these teams, they are each other's arch rivals, right? This is not one-way love, Joy. This is not one-way love. They both burn really bright for each other. It's not like, I think you're my arch rival and you don't know who I am. These two are completely each other's nemesis. And youngsters have always kind of done well here and kind of catapulted from here.
Yeah, absolutely. From 2010 onwards, that first final where, Mumbai steamrolled everything and then hits the final and they get knocked out by Chennai, who wasn't doing well that year. I mean, Mick Johnson, Pawan Negi, Hardik Pandya hitting, Kedar Yadav. There are so many stories. Lasith Malinga, that final over to win that match for them. I think these are the kind of matches which really, really have been needle matches. And most importantly, they've both brought the best out in each other. I mean, that Chennai, even last year, I was just thinking, Kieran Pollard, that 87 that he hit, it was at a time when Chennai was in an absolute roll. They were not missing anything. And he was the one man who stood up. So no matter what the situation is, no matter where they are in this table, this is a big match. Don't make that mistake. This is always a big match. It's always going to be one.
Okay, now you both have to pick a youngster. Come on, give me some hashtag feels. Hashtag feels.
It's only one for me, Brevis.
Brevis, okay, excellent. And while Joy, you decide and I decide, let's put out the team 11s for people as well to just have a quick look at. Just pull them up in any order so we can have a look at it. Brevis, Baby AB from South Africa is who Michael is picking. Who do you pick?
I'm going to go with somebody from Chennai, from Mumbai as well. Hrithik Shokeen. And why Hrithik Shokeen? Because it's a birthday of one of our greatest Indian off-spinners, Venkat Raghavan. And Hrithik Shokeen is this young India under-23 player who's really got a chance. He was with RCB last year, but he didn't really have a chance. He's an interesting character. Sorry, he wasn't with the RCB, but he's an India prospect from Delhi, off-spinner, very, very decent. And whoever's seen him in the nets and all, they have good things to say about him. This is a great opportunity for him. I hope he gets a really good one.
There is a certain Hrithik from Mumbai who has actually been the brand ambassador for the Mumbai Indians as well. Yeah, if you know him, yeah, come on. And now this Hrithik is coming in to stop that, to stop it, to stop this 0-6. He's going to stop it. Come on, put a stop to this slide. Can he do that? Well, Joy certainly thinks so. And Brevis is who Michael thinks. I'm going with Ishan Kishan. So that's my boy for today. So let's see. All right, score guesses. Oh, no, we have the joy factor question as well. Geez, we're really running behind today. The joy factor question. Joy, there you go.
Okay, what connects a tournament-winning knock by Shudip Chatterjee in 2021? He's a state player from Bengal. With international cricketers, one of whom was in your drawing room last night, Darren Ganga and Samuel Badri. Yes.
Okay, hang on.
So-
I had no idea about this. And yes, Darren Ganga was right here. He was sitting on the couch right next to me. I should have asked him, why did you send this question last night? I don't even think he'd know, by the way. I don't even think Darren would know.
I
But,
think he might just know. But anyway, it's a great story. But yeah, he might just know. And
I
there's
just realized
a
that
lot
Darren
of
is
culture
actually-
and history mixed up in that question. Yeah.
Darren has actually written a paper on the influence of Indian immigrants in the Caribbean and what they've had on cricket there. I was like,
Yeah,
Darren,
and he did this amazing visit. He revisited all the places in Kolkata from where they left out. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. All right. If you have the answer for that, hashtag Joy Factor, hashtag Cricbuzz Live on Twitter. We're waiting for you. You can put it on Instagram as well, Snapchat, TikTok. I don't know what the other things are. Telegram.
Be real. Be real. There's a new one called Be Real.
Raven. Be Real. OnlyFans. I don't know.
OnlyFans.
No, none of that.
That's left.
I don't
field.
know.
That's really left. Field.
I don't know these things. I just hear them. I still use a typewriter, so I have no
I
idea.
hope you're not on OnlyFans.
Yeah, I've sent in my answer with a pigeon, a scary pigeon. So hopefully it should get to Joy at some point. It'll go to Darren first, get the answer, and then come to Joy. That's how we're doing it. Predictions before we sign off. Score guesses. Come on, gents. Let's go.
172.
Michael's looking at his ginions, his gin drinking minions.
160. I'm going back to the old school. 160.
So 160 for Michael. Joy, you said?
172.
172. I'm going to back Mumbai today. I'm going to go for 182. There you go. I mean, Rohit's out already, so Ishan's really going to be my boy today. It's got to get it done. We're going to see all of you at the end of the 10th over with the Cricbuzz Combox. Big thank you to Joy Bhattacharya and Michael Vaughan for joining us. I'm Gaurav Kapur. This is Cricbuzz Live, and we're going to be with you through the entire evening, through this entire game. So I hope you have your notifications on the Cricbuzz app, because then you will know as soon as we're coming on. Thanks so much for watching.